Hello and welcome to you. Christiane here, and no, I'm not sitting in a castle. I'm at my parents' house, as you can tell by the rustic German decor, which I love very much. This is from my childhood, and it brings a lot of wonderful memories to me. So, you guys, we are talking about resilience, and one of the things I've been learning from doing workshops and talking to clients and students is the idea that a lot more concern is about what's happening in the world than actually personal circumstances that we need resilience with. So in other words, instead of just focusing on our own lives and how to become more resilient in our health, our relationships, our finances, our career development, and so on, it's actually much more on people's minds to how do I deal with the world and everything that's happening globally as well as essentially nationally, coming from a North American point of view. Well, you guys, there is definitely a translation and ability to map over the skills that we can cultivate for our own resilience, as well as then for our concerns with global events. And that's why I would like for you to just revisit the ideas of accepting support, being able to support yourself internally in the way that you talk to yourself. So when you do get into a fear spiral or a doubting spiral or some kind of negativity, that you are able to pull yourself out of that kind of negative thinking and affirm things like things always work out in the end effect. I am co-creating my own reality. I do have a certain level of power of what happens in my field and what I can influence, and that's what matters, and that's what I'm going to focus on. I am going to be okay. My family is going to be okay. The world is going to be okay. This is just a part of natural evolution. This is part of history. This is history in the making. So those are some ideas that you can use internally in order to propel a positive mindset, which you know is going to have an effect on how you are going to go through all of these experiences. And I think those next 10 years are going to be absolutely pivotal, where we're going as humanity in concern of what's happening geopolitically, economically, as well as with developments like AI and other advancements that are considered a little scary for a lot of people, and that can also be a huge opportunity and possibility for us as humanity to grow to the next level. The second level is the support you get from others. So how much does it serve you to expose yourself to negativity in your field, having essentially the kind of social media access that is based more on complaining about things versus finding solutions, on having negative exchanges and creating hate versus positivity and creating hope and possibility and opportunities, and also just the kind of people you surround yourself with and the kind of conversations you have with those people. You can be that person that when there is a flared up energy in a conversation about what's happening right now and people having their opinions that are bouncing off each other, and you can be that person in that moment who says, and in the end effect, I know, and I really feel very strongly about it, that when we look back in 50, 60 years, that we can say that we did the best we could, that things somehow worked out, that we evolved as humanity and so on. Or you're just going to be quiet and you're just the observer. That's something that I'm practicing a lot, is being the quiet observer and just noticing where people are at, and then I can give them a sweet look, or I can put my hand on their shoulder afterwards and say things like, in the long run, I know it's going to be okay, and you're going to be safe, and your family is going to be safe. So you get to choose your interaction with other people. You get to choose your level of engagement with all of these hot topics in your community, and then find those people that you jive with. I had a very meaningful conversation with a dear friend yesterday where I was able to voice some of my opinions about the bigger picture of what's happening right now in the world, because I knew that this was a person I'm ideologically aligned with, and I was not going to get any backlash. I wasn't going to get any questioning my thoughts. And I just needed some affirmation. I just needed to talk with someone where I'm like, hey, I know I can talk to you on that level. And it was very high up spiritual and looking at the positive intent of everything that's going on and the very, very big picture of what we're experiencing here. And it was a fantastic conversation. And I left very refreshed, very affirmed, and it was something I needed at that moment. So surround yourself with some people like that as well. It cannot just be all controversial and you feeling like you're standing alone with your opinion, okay? And now comes the third level, most importantly, because that is your spiritual being, that is your spiritual connection to source. What is your support from above? What is your support from the level of energy, the level of the universe, God, source, the vortex, where you get plugged in and you're not cut off from the flow of energy from the universe? That is the most important question, because just like Albert Einstein says, and I know I quote this a lot, the most important question we need to ask ourselves is, do I live in a friendly universe? And that's what it all boils down to. When you do have a deep inherent belief in living in a friendly universe, in a good world where people are inherently good, and then we're being conditioned, and it's nature versus nurture and all that fun stuff that we're discovering, and multi-generational imprints and blah, 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 all that stuff, mental health and whatever. Deep, deep down, when you believe in a friendly universe and a loving universe, and that everything goes back down to love, and love is the most profound resource in the universe, that is ultimately the glue that binds everything together, you will have a very different experience than people who believe that the world is a bad place and people are sinners and we're all bad, inherently bad, and so on and so on and so on. So you need to constantly ask yourself those kind of questions. When you catch yourself making those comments that come out of nowhere, and it's your subconscious giving you those opinions that are based on your personal belief system. And when you have beliefs that the world is bad and that people are bad, then you will have different thoughts coming into your mind than someone who has an inherent belief that the universe is a loving place and that people are inherently good. And that it's just all misconstrued and we're being educated and manipulated and whatever else. So those are the kind of things I would like for you to entertain a little bit when it comes to what's going on globally and what's going on in the world that bugs you, that makes you fearful, that makes it that you're not able to sleep at night and you have anxiety attacks or panic attacks, or you're not able to control your thought patterns in your mind. That is what I wanted to offer to you today. So think about it. First level is, how do you support yourself? Second level is, how are you being supported from your environment, the people that are close to you, as well as what you're exposing yourself to? And thirdly, your relationship with the universe. And with that, I wish you a wonderful day, and may you have many wonderful examples of living in a wonderful universe that is full of love and joy, and it's thriving, it's growing, and you are a natural part of that. So may you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.